Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Excalibur Roundtable Tech Talk. This is one of our extended editions with my friend Will Barrows from the team at CG4. Will, thank you for joining me today.
Hello, it's a pleasure, Mike. Thank you.
And we're here talking about asset tracking. That's what CG4 does. And one of the things that's a frequently asked question that we see as we talk to customers is, how do I get started with my asset tracking? We talk about asset tracking, and what CG4 does is to leverage the asset tags that are out there. So whether it be barcode asset tags or RFID asset tags, things are being tagged so that they can be read. And there's a whole bunch of reasons to do that. Making things quicker, better, faster, stronger, more accurate, etc., which we cover in another episode. But really, how do I get started? We don't have anything tagged right now. How do I get started with tagging my assets?
Well, it's a great question. Usually when customers want to get started, they think, okay, let's stop the bleeding. Okay, we've got all these new assets coming in on the receiving dock, and sure, we've got 30,000 assets throughout our facilities that aren't tagged, but we've got to start somewhere. So it's really common for people to say, okay, let's just start with what's coming in new. And that'll be one little, place of success. And then what you do is, and it's common, and there's many different ways for these new assets to start to get tagged. And so we kind of listen to the customer, work with them to find out what they're doing. But like, for example, some customers get an advanced shipping notice where they get a data file that has all their asset information on it, including a serial number. And what they do is they'll perhaps load that into their system. And then with that loaded into the system, when the items hit the receiving dock, they can just scan the asset's serial number because the asset already exists. And then it retrieves the asset record. Then they edit it, the asset tag field, they put a new asset tag on that asset and just scan it in and then save that asset record. And so that gives them a chance to do that approach. Some customers, they just add new assets as they come in on the dock. So like, say you get a pallet of 100 laptops, you just use the handheld scanners. You select the right model of equipment, and this is if you didn't get, an advanced shipping notice, and you just select the right model of laptop and say, all right, I'm about to scan 100 serial numbers, and you just select the model, and then you go scan, 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 scan to capture all the serial numbers. And then as part of that, you can either only capture serial numbers as an initial creation of the asset, or you can put an asset tag on it at that same time that you're creating the asset, and you can go serial number, asset tag, serial number, asset tag, serial number, asset tag, and each serial number and asset tag creates one new asset. And so that's one way people do it. Some people use a type of procurement module where they've got their purchase order detail, and they say, I ordered 50 of these. And then they load that down to the handheld scanner, and they say, okay, here's the purchase order that I'm going to receive on, and I'm going to receive 20 of them. They click on that, then they just go scan, 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 and capture asset tag and or serial number in that approach. So, well, I mean, that's a lot of talking, but there's so many different ways customers want to get started.
Right. And it's one of the things that we talk about with a lot of customers is this isn't something to be scared of. And it's not as complex as it sounds. So many computers today. I look at all of our Dell laptops. Both Dell laptops have a serial number, which is a tag, as well as an express service code. Both of those have barcodes right below them. The same holds true for HP, Lenovo's. Pick your manufacturer. Almost all of them have a barcode available to scan, and if that's your secret identifier, your secret decoder for that particular device, even if you've already built out your CMDB, pull these devices in, by adding an asset tag to it, as you said, I can scan that serial number, up comes my asset, and I can add an asset tag to it. So one of the other ways we've seen clients do it is they're doing an inventory, or they're moving a department. There's a lot of different ways to break this into consumable chunks, so it's not you have to do everything all at once. You can do it in phases to get through your assets, and then what we've seen clients do is they get through everything they believe are all their assets. Now, which ones don't have asset tags? Now, where are those? Are those the missing ones? Did we miss one? Potentially, that can happen. Or these are devices, we start to look at our work from home world we live in today. These are devices that somebody's kept at home and it hasn't made its way back into the facility. But it's something that can be done incrementally. It doesn't all have to be done at once. You don't have to do it all at one time because of CG4's power. CG4 is not dependent solely on the asset tag. If I have the ability to scan something that will tell me what that asset is, something that's unique. An asset tag is extremely unique. Serial numbers are generally unique. We've had a couple of occasions where we've seen some older devices have their serial numbers reused by a manufacturer. But those are definitely out there cases. It doesn't usually happen in a single organization. And the ability to go through and do this in an incremental basis and get everything tracked, I can, as I know on my Dell that's sitting right in front of me here, on the underside is my little sticker that has my code that I could scan, and CG4 will look that up because I can scan by serial number. I'm not limited to just an asset tag. So it's not something to be afraid of. Asset tags give you that ability to do things in a much easier way where, flipping over laptops is one thing, but trying to, if the serial number's on the rear of the server, having to try to crawl behind the rack to get to them or pull every server out one by one could be difficult to do my scanning. So I'm putting it in a place where it's easier. This is what this is all about, is making this easy for us to track these things that as an organization are assets that cost us money and that our finance department wants to do depreciation on, and all of these other groups, as we've worked on so many of these projects together, kind of have a piece in being able to track the assets and their life cycle. And that's one of the capabilities CG4 brings forward, is it's focused on being able to do that in a fresh, easy, quick way that can be adapted to suit any organization's processes.
Just like you say, it might be a little daunting at first to think about it, but it's not as bad as you think it is.
Absolutely, and it, like we talked about, it can be done incrementally. So there's a lot of ways to get started, like you said, whether it's we're going to tag all the new assets coming in, and we're going to have further projects that capture the other assets, or many different ways. We collectively, the Excalibur and CG4 team, can work on a model for you that's going to work to get you to your ultimate goal of having all of your assets appropriately tracked. Will, as always, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your time. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. And to all of you out there watching, reach out to the team at Excalibur, and we'll get you connected with Will and the team at CG4, and we'll talk to you about how we can help you be better at your asset tracking. Thanks, everyone, and have a fantastic day.